Welcome. In this video, we are going to discuss about previous year NEET question in 2017 in physical chemistry under the topic of some basic concepts in chemistry. In this topic, there is only one question as asked in 2017. Let's see the question. Which of the following is depend on temperature? The given for is nothing but a parameters, which is a physical parameters. It represents the solutions concentration or how much mole is present, then how much weight is present in, which means volume of a solvent may be in milliliter or liter, then kilogram or gram. Okay, these are all the physical chemistry parameters representing the concentration of the solution. Out of the four, which one depends on temperature, which means on affecting the temperature, which means either increasing or decreasing, either increasing or decreasing the temperature. Which of the following four, which means one of the following four is get affected. Okay. First of all, how to solve this? From the definition, we can approach this question. Definition, which means what does mean by molarity? Then what is the expression for molarity? We need to think about it. Okay. Especially if we explaining in terms of expression or as a mathematical form. Molarity is nothing but number of moles, which means number of moles of a solute. Okay, number of moles in a clear manner. Number of moles of solute. The m representing the moles. Okay, which is divided by volume of, which is nothing but volume of solution. Sorry, volume of solvent, right? Volume of not a solvent, it is exactly volume of a solution. Okay, there is a confusion. The volume of a solution, this is nothing but in milliliter or else liter, anything ml. I take this as ml. Okay, this is a definition of molarity. Then what about molality? Molality is, there is only one difference. If I take this a, okay, number of moles of solute, I take this as a, hence molality is nothing but a divided by, which is nothing but mass of solution. Why this is mass? Why there is a volume? Because it is into kilogram or else gram, anything. Okay, from this question we understand the simple difference between molarity and molality. We always express molality and molarity in denominator, especially in the case of denominator, volume of solution in ml, volume of solution in kilogram. That is not a correct way. The correct way of representing the denominator part in the molarity and molality is, in the case of molarity, that is a volume of solution. In the case of molality, that is a mass of solution, because mass is always measured in gram, kilogram, like that units. Volume is always measured in liter, ml, liter, milliliter, decimeter, deciliter. Okay, right? We see volume, which means in thermodynamics. Okay, in which thermodynamics we can clearly see the unit of volume is always liter. Okay, there is no contrast between liter and kilogram in volume. Okay, volume of a solution is always liter, expressed by liter. Then mass of a solution, because it is represented by kilogram, so hence mass is clear. Okay. Then what about mole fraction? Mole fraction is nothing but mole of individual component divided by total mole, which means m1, m2. If we take AX, this is a two component, which means A is one chemical element, X is another chemical element. Both two are mixed together. So the mole fraction can be like this. Okay, mole of individual divided by sum of the moles of total. Okay, this is the mole fraction. Everyone knows about the mole fraction. There is no confusion. Okay. Then what about weight percentage? Weight percentage is nothing but given weight divided by total weight multiplied by 100. This is the weight percentage. Okay. So I'm writing here because there is no place for this. Given weight, total weight multiplied by 100. What is called total weight? Total weight is nothing but, if we have a 100 gram of HCl, out of 100 gram of HCl, I take only 50 gram of HCl to make the solution. Then what is the weight percentage? 50 gram divided by 100 gram multiplied by 100. Okay, In some cases, that total weight can be considered as a molecular weight. In some cases, it is very very rare. Okay, right. But generally, not in the case because total weight is different from the molecular weight. Okay, don't confuse with that. In rare cases, total weight can be considered as molecular weight. Okay. Then this is the definition. From this, we how to solve this? Which one depend temperature? Okay, molarity has number of moles and volume of solute. Volume of solution. Okay. Molality also has number of solute and mass of the solution. Mole fraction has moles, moles, moles only. Weight percentage has different weight, total weight, which means weight, weight. Okay. Out of these, which one affected by temperature? Which means if I altering the temperature, which one get affected? Okay. If I change the temperature, for example, I have a stone. I have a stone, which means in the case of mass of solute in kilogram, because which means I have a stone, I heating there is no change in the weight of the stone. Okay, if the stone is molten, then the weight is same. Okay, right. So if I increasing or decreasing the temperature, mass, which means expressed in kilogram or gram, that is not affected in generally. Okay, you can take any physical examples. Okay, gram, kilogram, then mass of a solution is not at all changed. Okay, then if I change the temperature, moles does not change. If you heat 1 molar HCl, that is a 1 molar HCl. Moles does not change. Moles won't change. Okay, moles is also same. Then weight is also same. Weight is also expressed in gram, kilogram. Okay, anything expressed by gram, kilogram, or else simply it is a gram. Okay, gram, kilogram. This also everything is same, right? Any substance expressed in gram, it won't affected by the temperature change because temperature won't do anything. It do not do anything. Okay. Okay. Then what about molarity? That is a volume from thermodynamics. It is comes from thermodynamics. If you increasing the temperature, the volume is expanded. Okay, because volume is a three-dimensional space. If you increasing the temperature, volume got expanded. Okay, then there is a many gap, which means many space, more space for the solution molecules to move from one place to another place. Okay, then the one which depends on the temperature is molarity. The key element is volume. Okay, volume, volume. But here it is mass. Okay, don't confuse with these two. Okay. If we are altering the temperature, volume will change.